What if the most compassionate being in a world of monsters isn't a human, but a vampire? Carlisle Cullen redefined what it means to be immortal, choosing healing over bloodlust. How did his unwavering moral compass, forged in a brutal past, shape not just his own destiny, but the very existence of the entire Cullen coven and beyond? Most vampires are monsters, driven by primal bloodlust, condemned to a life of predation and isolation. But one stands apart. Carlisle Cullen, a vampire born in the fires of 17th century religious persecution, became a beacon of light in a world of darkness. His origin story is not just a tale of transformation. It is a story of rebellion, of choosing compassion over instinct, of forging a moral code that would challenge the very foundations of vampire existence. To understand Carlisle, we must journey back to a time when monsters were hunted by men, and men were often more monstrous than the creatures they feared. The year is 1640, and England is engulfed in the chaos of the English Civil War. Religious fervor runs high, and the witch hunts that have terrorized Europe for decades have found fertile ground in the minds of fearful citizens. Carlisle Cullen is a young man of 23, the son of a zealous Anglican priest who has dedicated his life to rooting out evil in all its forms. The elder Cullen is a man of unwavering conviction, but his faith is twisted by fear and intolerance. He preaches fire and brimstone, condemning anyone who deviates from his narrow view of righteousness. Carlisle, raised in this environment, learns to see the world in black and white. Good and evil are distinct, immutable forces, and his duty is to destroy the latter. He joins his father's band of witch hunters, traveling the countryside in search of suspected sorcerers, werewolves, and vampires. History records the brutality of these hunts. Between 1560 and 1680, an estimated 50,000 to 100,000 people were executed across Europe on charges of witchcraft. Carlisle's father is among the most ruthless, and Carlisle, young and impressionable, follows in his footsteps, believing he is doing God's work. But even in these early years, Carlisle's compassion flickers beneath his rigid exterior. He questions the logic of executing a woman for healing the sick with herbs, or a man for speaking out against the church. He notices the fear in the eyes of the accused, the way their confessions are extracted through torture. Psychologists refer to this internal conflict as moral dissonance, a term coined by Leon Festinger to describe the discomfort of holding two conflicting beliefs. Carlisle believes in God and duty, but he also believes in justice and mercy. This dissonance grows until one fateful night, when the hunters track a group of vampires to their lair in the woods. What follows is a bloodbath. The vampires, cornered and enraged, fight back with inhuman strength. Carlisle's father is mortally wounded, and Carlisle, in a desperate attempt to save him, is attacked by one of the vampires. His neck is broken, his body left for dead among the fallen. What Carlisle experiences next is a transformation unlike any he has ever imagined. The venom courses through his veins, burning like fire, rearranging his cells, sharpening his senses to superhuman levels. He wakes 3 days later, a vampire. The man who once hunted monsters has become one. This reversal is a profound psychological trauma. Carlisle's entire identity is built on the belief that vampires are evil, abominations to be destroyed. Now, he is one of them. He feels the overwhelming urge to feed, to sink his teeth into the nearest human and sate his hunger. But the memory of his father's teachings, the revulsion he felt for the vampires he hunted, and the flicker of compassion that never fully died within him, all rebel against this instinct. He flees into the wilderness, determined to starve himself rather than give in to his new nature. For months, Carlisle wanders the forests of Europe, battling his bloodlust. He survives on animal blood, a meager substitute that leaves him weak and tormented. This period of self-imposed exile is a crucible, forging his moral code in suffering. Philosophers like Aristotle argue that virtue is developed through habit, through choosing the good even when it is difficult. Carlisle's choice to reject human blood is an act of virtue, repeated day after day until it becomes part of his identity. He learns to control his instincts, to channel his heightened senses into observation rather than predation. He watches humans from a distance, fascinated by their capacity for love, kindness, and resilience. He sees the beauty in their mortality, the way they cherish each moment, and he begins to question the vampire's curse of immortality. If immortality means living as a monster, he decides, it is not worth having. It is during this period of exile that Carlisle discovers his calling, medicine. He stumbles upon a village devastated by the plague, its streets lined with the sick and dying. The local physicians are overwhelmed, unable to stem the tide of death. Carlisle, with his enhanced senses, can smell the disease in the air, hear the weakened heartbeats of the dying. He remembers the basic medical knowledge he gained as a hunter, the way he once treated his father's wounds. He approaches the physicians, offering his help. At first, they are wary of this pale, mysterious stranger, but his skill and compassion win them over. He works tirelessly day and night, treating the sick, comforting the dying. For the first time since his transformation, he feels a sense of purpose. He is not a monster. He is a healer. This decision to embrace medicine is a pivotal moment in Carlisle's life. It aligns his new vampire nature with his inherent compassion, creating a moral framework that will guide him for centuries. The Hippocratic Oath, written in the 5th century BCE, mandates that physicians first do no harm. For Carlisle, this oath becomes more than a professional promise. It becomes a way of life. He dedicates himself to saving lives, to using his immortality and enhanced abilities to heal rather than harm. He studies medicine across Europe, attending the great universities of Paris, Edinburgh, and Berlin. He witnesses the evolution of medical science, from bloodletting and leeches to anesthesia and antibiotics. His immortality allows him to accumulate knowledge that no human could, making him one of the most skilled physicians in history. But Carlisle's journey is not without loneliness. He is a vampire among humans, an immortal among mortals. He cannot form deep connections, for he will outlive everyone he loves. This loneliness is a recurring theme in his life, a price he pays for his moral code. Sociologists refer to this as existential isolation, the sense of separation that comes from being fundamentally different from those around you. Carlisle experiences this isolation acutely, but he refuses to let it harden his heart. Instead, he channels his loneliness into his work, into his commitment to healing. He travels the world, moving from place to place every few years to avoid suspicion, always seeking new ways to help others. In the 19th century, Carlisle's path takes a fateful turn when he encounters Edward Mawson, a dying teenager in Chicago. Edward is suffering from the Spanish flu, a pandemic that killed an estimated 50 million people worldwide between 1918 and 1920. Edward's mother, on her deathbed, begs Carlisle to save her son, sensing that he is not like other men. Carlisle is faced with an impossible choice. He can let Edward die, a natural death, or he can turn him into a vampire, saving his life but condemning him to immortality. This choice tests Carlisle's moral code to its limits. He knows the pain of being a vampire, the loneliness, the struggle with bloodlust. But he also sees the goodness in Edward, the intelligence and kindness that shine even in his weakened state. He remembers his own transformation, the despair he felt, and he vows to give Edward a better life than the one he initially had. He turns Edward, and in doing so, begins to build the family that will become his anchor. Carlisle's origin story is a testament to the power of choice. He is born into a world of intolerance and violence, transformed into a creature of instinct and hunger, but he chooses compassion. He chooses healing over harm, virtue over vice, family over loneliness. His moral code is not imposed on him by religion or society. It is forged in suffering, in self-reflection, in the unshakable belief that even monsters can choose to be good. As Carlisle himself says in Twilight, "I have lived a long time, and I have seen a great deal of human suffering. But I have also seen great courage, great kindness, great love. These things are worth protecting. They are worth being good for." Carlisle Cullen is more than a vampire. He is a symbol of redemption, a proof that our nature does not define us. Our choices do. He is a compassionate anomaly, a monster who chose to be a hero. His origin story is not just the beginning of his journey. It is the foundation of the Cullen coven, the source of their moral compass, and a challenge to every vampire who believes they are destined to be evil. Carlisle Cullen's life is a question. If a man who hunted monsters can become one and still choose good, what excuse do the rest of us have?